And away we go. It is the aftermath. Brought to you by Mio's Pizza, live from the Cincy Light Studios, right here on BearcatJournal.com. Anytime you're up in Clifton, maybe you're going to catch the Bearcats baseball team. Coach Bischel and the boys getting the job done through Big 12 play so far. So maybe you're on campus pre-game, getting ready to go watch the baseball team. Stop over, see our good friends at Mio's. They have delicious food. I love the pizza, thin crust, deep dish. They got great sandwiches, salads, pasta, appetizers, a full bar menu, and of course, on tap, ice cold Cincy Light. All right, Aaron. It is it's over.
Thank God.
We don't have to do that. Depressing. What are you talking about, Ed? This is the least depressed I've been after a game all season. I get to go to Gatlinburg this weekend and not have to watch The Crown while I'm there. I'm as happy as a pig in poop. All right. Hi, Aaron. You love leaving this up.
Right. I didn't hear you even say the score. I don't know.
88-80.
I'm just putting the tweet. Putting the tweet out.
Cincinnati lost. The glorious, glorious day. This season has come to an end. Just like you would expect, Aaron. $50,000 on the line. A chance at $300,000 still in play. And this team cannot get over the hump. How about this? This is the defining stat of tonight, Aaron. In the first half, Cincinnati tied or took the lead 5 times. They gave it up on the ensuing possession 4 of those 5 times.
No idea how to play the half. That plagued them
in the second half, Aaron, hold on. It gets better. In the second half, they tied or took the lead 7 times. Do you know how many times they gave up the lead or the tie on the ensuing possession in those 7 times in the second half?
All of them.
All 7. They tied or took the lead 12 times in this game, and 11 times they gave up points on the ensuing possession. That's all. You almost have to try to do that. That's goddamn near impossible to be in that position 12 times in a game, and the other team comes down and either gets a bucket or free throws immediately thereafter. It is one of those things. Like and this isn't anything new, because this is what happens with teams that aren't good, Aaron. It's always something new. Always something new. And it felt like in the second half, there were a ton of chances for this team to pull, like to get a lead and pull away from UCF. And every time, they played with their food. Lazy on defense, didn't buckle in, didn't lock in and get stops. You know, allowed a guy to go for 18 points in the second half, 31 in the game. Just over and over and over again. Yeah, I mean, yeah, Darius Johnson was the best player on the floor tonight, so they won the game. It was another game in the Big 12 where Cincinnati did not have the best player on the floor. But take it away, Aaron. Give us your final thoughts. Sum it up, big fella.
I'm so glad that's over, and I don't have to watch 4 minutes to start a game without a point ever again of this team. God, that was the first segment made me want to barf.
Yeah, it's a lot like yesterday or Tuesday. Like the first segment was just like, what are they doing?
I thought even the last, I know Dede made a 3, but I thought the last roughly 4 minutes of the game was probably the worst shot selection of any 4 minutes of any game down to the wire that I've seen this season, and that's saying something.
Nah, they had plenty more than that, Aaron.
it was terrible. Well, I don't know what they were doing. Another the shitty lob. As soon as they missed the shitty lob, I knew it was game over. I don't know. I can't remember a team that I've been so excited about for any sport, for that matter, that I've been so excited about that has been such a gut punch, and I will not be sorry that this season is over at this point. Let's see what happens in the portal. That's where I'm at. On to the portal. Moving on.
Onward and upward. That's the thing, is it just wasn't a fun team to watch. Like it should have been. Like, here's the crazy thing, Aaron. Here's the crazy thing. They led the nation in dunks. Probably not now because, teams have kept playing in the NCAA tournament or whatever. But at the end of the regular season,
play.
Yeah, they had more dunks than anybody in America. And it just was not a fun team to watch. Like, there was
I love
nothing
dunks,
about
and
this
I agree.
team. There was nothing about this team that made you like lock in. Like, all right, like, I know XYZ is about to happen and Cincinnati's going to take over this game. It was a team that, like, there was always something lurking that was about to go wrong. There was always something that they were not going to do well. Tonight it was every time they had a lead, they pissed it away. Like, they do one thing well and two things bad. One step forward, two steps back. And that was the story of, especially, I mean, they went 10-1 in the non-conference, so I'm not going to sit here and shit on the non-conference, even though it wasn't like a murderer's row of a schedule. But once Big 12 play started, they had the one stretch where they won 5 of 7, and that was it. There was nothing else about this season that produced any levels of joy at all.
No, it was a slog. It felt like it took forever. And maybe it was because they did have the stretch where they went 5 of 7 to where it almost gave you hope. I don't know. But it was fool's gold. And this team was a tough sell all season long, truthfully.
Yeah. You're wrong, Matt. They won 8 Big 12 games because they won the first round game of the Big 12 tournament. So they won 7 in the regular season and 1 in the Big 12 tournament, and then lost 1. So what, 8 and 15?
8 and 15, right.
8 and 15 in the Big 12 this year. They were a below the median. They were a below average team in the Big 12 this year. And you know what we did learn today, or this week? At least we did learn something about the Crown.
Here we go.
My God, the Big East stinks. Like, with as bad as UC thumped DePaul, my God, the Big East stinks. At least we learned that.
And that's saying something when this team blew out a Big East team like that.
Yeah. Jizzle was terrible today. I mean, we'll get to that later, but 4 of 14, 0 of 6 from 3, no assists, 10 points in 26 minutes, and minus 19. Minus 19. Whoa.
If that
yeah.
I will say, if that's the last time we get to see Dylan Mitchell in a Bearcats jersey, he played his ass off tonight. Like, did everything he could. He played his ass off. That's the one guy who we have said throughout the season has been a consistent. He will give you pretty much even on the bad nights, he was still trying. Like, I don't think he ever just gave up.
I'd put Day-Day in that same category.
I
don't really think there was ever a night where I felt like Day-Day didn't have good energy. Look, if it wasn't for those two, they didn't even play well.
I was going to say, the only times that he didn't have good nights were the nights that he was in foul trouble. And I don't know.
Yeah. Both of those guys played their butts off. I thought Josh played hard, but I mean, he's Josh. Like, this is Josh Reed. Like we got out of body Josh Reed for a couple weeks, and then
Mayor of Banana Land.
Yeah, for the rest of the season, that was it. When do guys hit the portal? Soon, probably. I don't think you're going to get anybody tonight. Would I be shocked if you got somebody tomorrow? Like, I don't know when they're flying home. I don't know if they're staying tonight and flying home in the morning, or if they're going to fly home tonight. It's only 6:30 out there.
Yeah.
But soon.
Oof.
See if I can find out.
Oof.
What?
Just that was my exhale on the season.
Yeah. Why was Jizzle on Johnson most of the game? I don't know. I'm in Independence, Kentucky. The team is in Las Vegas. I don't know.
I don't know if there's a funnier phrase from this game than Jizzle on Johnson.
Yeah. Jizzle was on. Never mind. I'm not gonna. Johnson exploded for 31 with Jizzle on him. Look, Bearcats won. I think too often we can confuse effort for just not being very good. I don't think their effort was bad down the stretch. I just think they're not very good. Like, Dan makes a great play down 4 or 5. Dan gets a steal, gives it up to Jizzle, and Jizzle just throws it away. Like a chance to actually, the execution. What's the old NFL press conference? Coach said a reporter asked the coach, what do you think of your team's execution? And the coach said, I'm in favor of it. That sums this team up pretty well. Would I put a lot of coin on Mitchell being back? No, I wouldn't. There's more than 2 players coming back, Best Cat. This is not your chat. Calm down. We don't need 37 messages a minute from you. It's let everybody else have a chance to talk. There's more than 2 players coming back, but it won't be many more than 2 players coming back. You're wrong, but you're not that wrong. I don't if I was a betting man, I wouldn't have a whole lot of money on Dylan coming back. I don't even know. Like, I don't even know, Aaron. Like, what is there left to say? Like, it wasn't a good team. It wasn't a good team.
Well, and you kind of hit the nail on the head last night when you were talking with Dave. Last season was far more entertaining because the energy was different. The skill level was maybe about the same, but they found ways to win. Like they're I don't know if it was simply having a John Newman made that much of a difference. A guy who
I do think in the locker room he made.
I think you're right. But this team wasn't fun to watch this season as opposed to last season, and I don't know if that was because Dan was a shell of himself. I don't know if that was because Seamoss
wasn't good.
Maybe needed to get hit by a car this season to get right. I don't know. We got roughly a half season of Jizzle James. In the other half, he was lost. I don't understand. Don't understand what happened this year. And like you said last night to Dave, it just was a far more fun product to watch, to root for, to just as a fan, like you got to know. I feel like you got to know the personalities last season more so than this season, and that's crazy because we had a lot of returning players, and I still felt like I knew the team last season better than I knew the team this season.
Steve, somebody asked me if I was to bet on Dylan Mitchell returning or not. I would bet on not. So that's where we're at. Reds haven't scored in 27 innings. Basketball was an abomination. Bengals ownership threatening to leave. Can we get an exorcist to drive the sports demons out of town? Choogs, this is a different show, but the Bengals aren't leaving. They just might leave downtown. Like, they're not leaving. They'll be in Warren County or Northern Kentucky or somewhere. But they're strong. They're doing what they always do, strong arming the government of the city of Cincinnati. Mitchell will get bags. He's not coming back. I don't think he's a good fit for the Big 12, personally. I love Dylan. I think Dylan, in the right system, in the right league, he's a great kid. He's a good basketball player. I just think in this league, like, trying to play that position at 210 pounds.
Whoops. That's not what I meant to do.
Yeah. We tried, Best Cat. We tried.
I don't want to hear about other teams in the chat.
Yeah.
Go away.
I also don't want to see one person have 8 of the 10 messages on my screen. It's not your chat. I just think in this league, it's a really tough fill for him. He is essentially the same player he was at Texas. If you look at numbers and impact, I think, like, ACC, Big East, like, I think he would be really, really good. Potentially SEC. It's not as thick and physical. A lot of points, a lot of running up and down the floor. But I just don't think it's a great fit. Do I still think Day-Day and Jizzle more likely than not to both be back? Yes. Yes. I just told you, Matt. I think Dylan fits in the ACC. I think he fits in the Big East. I think there are teams in the SEC that he would be
Pac-12?
a good fit with. That doesn't exist anymore, Aaron. That's not a thing. Dylan might go to St. John's. Who knows? Like, guys, you don't know yet. You know why you don't know yet? Because if he goes in the portal, there's going to be a bunch of people calling with a shit ton of money. Like, that has been the theme of the portal. Guy goes in the portal thinking his price is XYZ, and it ends up being ABC. And all of a sudden the situations change. So maybe he does go to St. John's. Maybe he goes to Oregon. Maybe, like, who knows where he's going to go. Do I think he's here? No, I don't think he's here. Any read on Ray?
Who cares?
Right. Any read on Ray? I love Ray.
Why don't we just wait until we're going down the list of how they did tonight? And then you can just give us your thoughts on if you think they'll be coming back or not. Because I don't really want to go through this chat asking about each individual player, and then we just have to have a conversation about each individual player. My goodness.
At what point do I think Wes knew this season was cooked? Probably the second 4-game losing streak. I think probably a good idea there. But the crazy part is they were still on the bubble until the final week of the season, when they lose the K-State and the Oklahoma State games. If they win those 2 games, they probably make the NCAA tournament, given what we saw make the NCAA tournament. So as a coach, like, you hold on all the way to the end because you weren't that far off. That's the maddening. That's the other part about this team, Aaron, that was so insanely frustrating. Even as annoying as this shit was, there was still an opportunity. The door was wide open for them to get into the NCAA tournament. And they themselves were like, no.
As someone who had to cover the games and be interested in the games, I would have loved them to be in the NCAA tournament. As somebody who had to watch The Crown, I'm happy they weren't in the tournament.
It would have been because
they would have gotten flogged in the second game. Flogged.
Yeah, I mean, here's what I was going to bring up, Aaron. You know the biggest difference between this year and last year? Last year, they competed every game, pretty much. There was 2 games that they got away from them last year. Baylor, they lose by 20. Kansas, they lose by 14. Texas Tech, they lose by 10. BYU, they lose by 28. West Virginia, they lose by 13. Iowa State by 11. Houston was 9. That wasn't too bad. They lose to Oklahoma State by 11. They lose to Iowa State by 20. Like, that's the difference between this year and last year. Last year, those games were all 5-point games, 4-point games, 6-point games. And this year, more often than not, when they lost, they got their ass kicked.
Well, you really didn't have, Dave talked about it last night too. Like, you really didn't have a signature win this season outside of the BYU game and I guess Xavier. Beyond that, who did you beat? You didn't beat any of the good teams. You didn't beat any of the upper echelon teams, the teams that are in that first tier, second tier. And those teams, they kicked your ass. And until you can start to win some games that you're not supposed to win, you're going to see results like this. And you're going to have disappointing seasons.
Yeah, again, like we talked about Wednesday, like I agree with your point. The problem is they didn't need to beat the good teams to get in the NCAA tournament. They just needed to beat West Virginia once and Kansas State once and not lose to Oklahoma State. You do those 3 things, this team was in the NCAA tournament. Like, you can get in without beating the top 4 teams in this league. You can.
Sure. But you're also supposed to win the games that you're supposed to win, and they didn't do that. They can't defend. The last 2 seasons, they really haven't been able to defend home court, and you lose more often than not, it feels like, the games that you're supposed to win, and you lose the games that you're not supposed to win.
Well, the problem is they were like 7-6 or whatever in the toss-up games, or 5-6 or whatever in the toss-up games. Because they beat Baylor, they beat BYU. Those are 2 teams that were ahead of them comfortably in the standings. Against the like teams, but let's do the count. Kansas State loss. They beat Colorado and Arizona State. Lost to Utah, lost to West Virginia, beat UCF, beat Utah, lost to West Virginia, beat TCU, lost to Kansas State, lost to Oklahoma State. So just in the regular season, they were 5-6 against teams that are in that same bubble as them. Can't do that.
Nope.
Just, yeah. That's, I don't think anybody's building around an inefficient freshman player, Hunter. Can we see what the roster looks like before we start talking out our ass? Like, is Sean Abayev going to be an important part of this team? Yes. Are they building around him? No. I'm sure there's another UC show going on where you can go talk dumb shit. 4 years, why would a fan expect a different outcome? Nobody's telling you to expect a different outcome, Seth. We'll see what the roster looks like. We'll talk about what the roster looks like. I'll give my thoughts on how I think the team will do. And then eventually they'll start playing games.
Hunter did clarify. He's talking to someone else in the chat. Not
chat. Okay, cool. Yeah. Okay, my bad. Sorry, Hunter. It's on me. Nobody's building around Sean Abayev and Keyshawn Tillery. Like, they're going to be pieces, obviously, but nobody's building around a freshman.
Even if, I don't even know that Duke necessarily built around Cooper Flagg. Like, he was a very large piece, but
they built around Cooper Flagg. They just built around him with 2 other freshman lottery picks. Yeah. Like, that makes it a little bit easier. We have 3 of the top 10 picks in the draft. It's like, unless you're Rutgers, it's a different story.
Right.
Rutgers might have 2 of the top 3 picks in the draft, and they didn't make the tournament. Can this be fixed without a new coach? We'll find out, Mike. I don't know. We'll see what the value of Corey Evans is. We'll find out. Like, I'm guessing they're probably going to have to take some chances because they're not going to be able to go get whoever they want at the top of the transfer portal market. So probably going to have to, take a couple swings and take a chance or two and see if you can get lucky. Sellers, don't know, Ben. Everybody kind of thought that was gonna happen today. It didn't. And I know the Illinois folks have been waiting on a phone call from him and they haven't got it. The Cincinnati folks have been waiting on a phone call from him, haven't got it. So I don't know what exactly the situation is there with Jalen Sellers. That's why I haven't really said a whole lot about it, because there doesn't seem to be a lot of legitimate information on what's happening. There's the standard he visited Illinois, so all the Illinois people are saying Illinois feels good. Well, yeah, he just left your campus for an official visit. Of course you feel good. Everybody feels good after an official visit. But the word on that one was it was going to happen sooner than later, and we are getting progressively closer to later. We should have had Keegan coaching and Trevor Ford as the assistant. I'm assuming Corey isn't tied to Wes. Technically, no, but those two guys have been close for over a decade. So they're kind of a tandem. Now, if something, if Wes gets let go at the end of next season, I couldn't tell you what exactly would be the outcome with Corey. I have no idea.
Depending on how big his contract is, I doubt he's just like, you know what? I'm leaving too.
Yeah. I mean, if he's got a contract with guaranteed money, he's probably going to stick around. Was there any update on the UNC Wilmington big? He's expected to potentially visit after the dead period. There's not a whole lot of update there until we get closer to that. So, yeah, I'm done with the chat. You guys are wearing me out. You guys are wearing me out. Aaron, you want to go through the stats and
can't wait.
Let's go.
And then are you gonna actually give us your where you think they're leaning?
I'll give you my opinion on what I think.
Yeah. I mean, nothing's set in stone. Who knows what's gonna happen? Anyway.
Yeah.
Day Thomas, 19 points, 7 of 14 from the field, 5 of 9 from 3. Did not hit a free throw, which that was a tragedy in this game. The poor guy, every time he goes murdered. To the hoop, every time
he got kneed in the head.
I can't believe that they ruled that a steal and not 3 fouls. It was like 3 fouls.
Yeah,
at least a jump.
He's laying on the ground and they're just poof, poof, poof. He fell back with his arms laid out across the floor after the end of the play. They got to do.
If he ends up a UCF Knight next year, that was actually him getting jumped into the gang, right?
Yeah.
God bless.
Tell us next year's roster. AJ Storr, Kerr, Carissa. What other guys would make everybody?
Well, is the UCF kid the European coming? Since we always take somebody that we played in postseason tournament, he's in the portal. He made a couple threes, sure.
I mean, I would be okay if they went and got Darius Johnson.
Look,
I'll take that.
I would not be mad about that. But Day had 1 offensive, 3 defensive, giving him 4 rebounds, 2 assists, 3 fouls, 3 turnovers, 2 steals, 29 minutes played, -2.
I think we'll see more of Day Thomas going forward. I do not think we have seen the last of Day Thomas in a Bearcat uniform.
All right. Dylan Mitchell, 17 points, 8 of 14 tonight. He did everything. 1 of 1 for his only 3. He missed everything on his only free throw. He did not hit anything. And that was a microcosm of the season for him at the free throw line.
Yeah.
1 offensive rebound, 11 defensive rebounds, giving him 12 rebounds total, easily leading all Bearcats, giving him his double-double. 6 assists, 1 foul, 1 steal, 32 minutes played. The only Bearcat with 30 plus, even on what looked like a bum ankle. -8.
Surprised he was -8 because I thought he did a great job impacting the game, and I don't think his guy did a whole lot. He didn't give up a lot defensively. Like I said, I have a hard time envisioning Dylan back. As much as I love him and think I think highly of him as a basketball player, I just don't know that this league is the best fit for him physically. Because I don't think you can put 20 pounds on him.
No.
Do you think so? I just don't think his body would carry another 15, 20 pounds.
Well, even if he tried, that would completely alter his game.
His athleticism.
His game is based on his athleticism, and that would, you'd be trying to put a square peg in a round hole at that point.
Yeah. I'd love to see him back. I don't, if you're asking me if I had to give my opinion, I don't think it's a great fit. I think you have to go probably in a different direction. If I was Dylan, I'd probably want to go in a different direction. If I was Cincinnati and the way that they got beat up inside in this league, as much as I'd like to keep him, I'd probably look in a different direction. Now, the unknown there is he and Corey are pretty tight. Corey Evans. So maybe the two of them come to a
gentleman's agreement
on Dylan staying, but my opinion is I don't think he'll be back.
Themos Lukosius, 11 points, 3 of 8 from the field, all threes, every one of them. 2 for 2 from the line, 1 offensive, 4 defensive rebounds, giving him 5, 2 assists, 1 turnover, 25 minutes played, -2.
I guess he was okay tonight. He made 3 threes. Like, you know how many games we would love to have had Themos make 3 threes through Big 12 play?
Yep.
Most of them, because he didn't do it very often. So, yeah. It's unfortunate that he didn't have the type of season that we envisioned him having. I don't think anybody envisioned him being the star of this roster. We just thought he would be a lot more consistently productive.
I think there were plenty of people saying that they thought he was going to be there were plenty of people saying they thought he was going to be the alpha.
I don't listen to those people. Dave, what's up, brother? It's always a pleasure to see you. I got a couple other ushers that are pretty high on the list, though. I don't know. Picking a favorite would be hard.
Usher Dave is not entering the portal. Congratulations.
No,
Chad.
Usher Dave will return for 2025-26.
Jizzle James, 10 points, 4 of 14, 0 for 6 from 3. He hit his 2 free throws, 1 offensive rebound. That's his only rebound. 3 fouls, a turnover. Nothing else positive to say there. 26 minutes played, -19. No assists. No blocks, no steals, no defensive rebounds. Yuck.
I think he'll be back. I think there needs to be a lot of time spent this offseason on efficiency. Getting his 3-point shot more consistent, learning when and where to take those mid-range shots, trying to get a little closer. Like, I'd like to see a little bit more 12-footers than 17-footers. Wolfie, I've given up on him getting fouled.
Well, they got fouled and they just couldn't get the whistle.
Yeah. But Jizzle just doesn't. It's the craziest thing to me. A guy that physical just does not play to contact, but he doesn't really play to contact. So I've kind of given up on that. It's a shame because he's like an 80% free throw shooter. Like,
so would you call him a finesse back as opposed to a power back?
Yeah, kind of. And he should be a power back. Like, he should be a power back. I don't get it, Wolfie. How can you be that big and strong and shy away from contact? I don't understand it. Yeah. Seth, you can believe whatever. Like, asking me isn't going to change it. If you don't want to believe in Wes and the players, don't. I don't know what to tell you guys. I can't make you believe in anything. I'm not here to sell you on anything. I'm here to talk about what I see. If what you see is that you don't believe Wes is going to go out in the portal and get guys that can impact this league, then that's what you see. I'm not. Why do people come to me, Aaron, to talk them into things? I don't
Can't
get
answer
it.
that. Next man up, Rayvon Griffith, and he was 2 for 3 from the field, one of 2 from 3 of 6 from the line, so falling in line right along with everybody else. 2 offensive rebounds, 1 defensive, giving him 3. 1 foul. He stayed out of foul trouble tonight, Chad. 10 minutes played plus 2, leading all Bearcats.
I mean, Ray's a good glue guy. I don't know exactly. Like, here's the problem I see for Ray right now. If you do what you need to do in the portal and you add top of the roster type guys, then Ray is back in the same situation. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think Ray is ready to jump into a 15, 20 minute a night spot in the Big 12. It's not a knock on Ray, just some guys take longer to develop. I mean, maybe athletically he is. Maybe if he had been more consistent when he got in on defense, you could see that role for him being a guy that defends and rebounds, but they've kind of already got that guy in Josh. So if I'm Ray, I'm probably looking at dropping down. Like, I think Ray would, like, think about Ray in the American or in like the A10. I think he'd be outstanding as a effort, toughness, glue guy type person. If I was Ray, I would probably be looking, because I don't know, as things currently stand, unless the allure of being at home is that strong for him.
Sure.
I don't know that if the portal goes like they want it to go, I don't know where Ray fits.
Well, speaking of that glue guy, Josh Reed, I think, truthfully, tonight, I think was a terrible game for Josh Reed, both ways, both offensively and defensively. 6 points, 2 of 8 from the field, 2 of 7 from 3, 2 defensive rebounds, his only rebounds, 5 fouls, including a tech, 2 turnovers, 19 minutes played, plus minus 0.
He wasn't the good version of Josh Reed tonight. He did make the 2 threes, which, considering how bad everybody not named Day and Dylan were, okay. The thing on the tech, you can't do what he did. The thing that makes it ridiculous is the guy acting like Josh, like, shot him in the heart. Yeah, shot him in the heart. So it was like he fouled him and then gave him one of these. You're gonna get a technical for that. It was just the flop that was ridiculous.
Yeah.
Biggie McLean's daughter would be the best big on the team right now.
Your opinion, Josh Reed?
I think he's back. I think you want him back. I do think you need a Josh Reed on your roster that has been here, put in the work, continuously earned the minutes. I think that's a good guy to keep around if you're going to have significant turnover. Ray's not going nowhere. He might not, Devontae. I'm giving my opinion on what
wild card
I think. Like, if I was Ray, I'd be calling Anthony Grant. Yeah, I don't think you bring Josh back as a starter. Like, you have to go out and get a starter, or Sean Abayev is going to come in and play that like the 3 as a starter more so than Josh. But I think Josh is a guy that you want back. What?
Please. I don't want to see people who can't shoot starting anymore.
Yeah.
Ever again. Dan Skillings, at least not in spots 1 through 4. Dan
Jack,
Skillings
just talked about CMOS.
6 points. 3 of 7 from the field, missed his only 3. He did check himself on a lot of threes that I thought he was going to take. And I don't know how he didn't get called up and down on about 3 of them. But I digress. Missed his only free throw, on par for the course. 1 offensive, 2 defensive rebounds, giving him 3 total, 3 assists, 3 steals, no turnovers. 21 minutes played, -7. His defense was atrocious tonight.
Yeah, I mean, there was a, I guess there was a stretch, Aaron, where I thought Dan's playing pretty good.
Yeah, the first 2 shots he had were outstanding. The drives to the hoop.
He just kind of turned back into the carriage turned back into a pumpkin. And he didn't do a whole lot. Defensively, he didn't make any stupid fouls on 3-point shooters, which was nice. But he wasn't terrible. But I think they would have, if they would have got that Dan we saw in that one like 4-minute stretch, I think they would have won the game. But he just had that 4-minute stretch, and then he was just kind of after that. Missed the front end of a 1-and-1.
He played defense tonight at a 45-degree angle, always leaping at whoever was shooting the ball.
Yes. He's so, like, his balance is so bad.
Just always.
So bad. So do I think Dan will be back? I would be surprised if Dan returns.
I've been saying my prayers every night before bed. 3 points for Aziz Bandago. 1 of 1, his only field goal of the night, and that was a putback. 1 of 2 from the free throw line. 1 offensive, 4 defensive rebounds, giving him 5. 4 assists, 1 foul, 3 turnovers. 28 minutes played, -6.
So the only thing you can do here is compare, right? Aziz, 3 points. Mustafa Tiem, 13. One was 6 of 9. One was 1 of 1. He got abused. He lost his matchup considerably. And that's a career for Aziz. So I don't think he will be back. I don't think CMOS will be back either, by the way.
2 blocks to no blocks also on that matchup, by the way.
Yeah.
The only other players to check into this game, Halvin Zella was 0 for 1 on his only shot, 1 defensive rebound, his only rebound, 2 fouls, 1 turnover, 1 steal, 7 minutes played, +1. And Tyler Betsy checks in, 1 foul, 3 minutes played, +1.
I genuinely have no idea what happens with Halvin. I have no idea. I like as a bench big, if he's willing to play in that role, absolutely, I would keep him.
His career as a Bearcat is as mysterious as him appearing here one day.
Yeah, just showing up one day. I like if he's your third center, like I think you're okay. But does he want to be a third center, or does he want to go somewhere, drop down a level or 2, and probably play like if you put him in a mid-major or a low major league, like it could be really good, really good. Dan goes to American? No, Raj. Dan's going to get paid a lot of money by somebody. You know what? You know what high major coaches think? They always think they can fix them. They always think they can fix them.
That's a guy thing, right? It's just a guy thing.
Wasn't he an Adams guy too? Yeah, I mean, yes. Drew had to connect him to Halveen's agent. So that was, yeah. But I don't know on that one. If I was Wes, I'd be like, hey, I got $100,000. You want to stay and be our third center?
He'd have to move back to the dorms for $100,000.
It's like living on ramen noodles. How the hell are you supposed to take trips to the Ritz-Carlton in the Dominican Republic on that kind of money?
As far as Halveen goes,
Tyler.
as far as Halveen goes, I will say I will take your word for it that he will be good somewhere else, because I don't know that I saw that player that you were seeing.
And Halveen?
Yeah.
You don't think Halveen could go to a mid or low major level and be good?
He looked uncoordinated and lost often. That's just what I saw.
The past 2 days.
Yes.
Okay. I disagree.
Okay.
Tyler, I mean, he played 4 minutes in the whole thing. I can't imagine him sticking around. I did not see a power 4 level player in Tyler, unfortunately.
I concur. I don't know that he's anything more than a spot shooter. There's room for that on certain rosters.
Well, but there's not. I mean, if you can't, like, it's called a 3-and-D guy for a reason. If you can only do half of that, half of your value goes away. So, like, for me, he would be perfect in the A10. Like, I think he'd be a really good A10 player, Tyler. But at the Power 5 level, he doesn't move well laterally. He defends with his hands. Like, he doesn't rebound. I just don't see at a Power 4 level Tyler being a guy that, unless he comes up with like a back to the basket, like a little post up game, a little mid post. But we didn't see any of that from him. So I can't say yes or no on him, because I just don't think he's a guy that's built to perform at this level. You think Tyler Betsy looks like a raw Justin Jackson? That may be the most wild comparison I've ever seen from anyone in my life, Chad Cunningham. Tyler Betsy reminds you of Justin Jackson. There couldn't be two more different players on planet Earth than Tyler Betsy and Justin Jackson. Is there a timetable Connor has to be approved by? No. Connor Barwin. No, Connor Hickman.
Not Connor Barwin.
I probably just the start of the school year in September or whatever.
I mean, at some point you're not just going to hold open a 15th scholarship for him, though, right? Like,
yeah. Well, yes. There is no need for 15 scholarship players in this era. You're going to play 8 guys. What the fuck are the other 7 going to do?
Develop.
No, you just go get new ones in the portal next year. I said 2 guys were like A10 type guys, Chad. I think Halveen, if he wants to play, would probably be a step below that. If Connor Barwin can get a waiver, I'd take him back. Me too. You talk about tough.
He's nuts.
Yeah. All right, man. Although we've come to the end of the road.
That's one of my go-to karaoke songs. Seriously.
I think we got a lot of people in here.
Well,
I have to get up and...
You've had a love-hate relationship with the chat, so I don't know how much longer you want to go.
Yeah, they're driving me a little crazy tonight. I think they're doing it on purpose. Well, it's fine.
The one dude who started spamming FFFF, best cat won't be back.
No. Did you punt him for good?
Forever.
No love for who? No love for who? Yeah, I get to go to Gatlinburg this weekend, and just kind of chill for a couple days and not have to watch The Crown. So when the buzzer sounded,
Yeah,
it was like a.
it was Drew Adams' last parting gift to you was not showing up for The Crown, so you could go enjoy your vacation.
Love this season was a love-hate relationship.
No,
No
he's saying
love,
with the
just hate.
he's
Oh,
saying
with
your
the chat,
relationship with the chat tonight.
Can McKinley make an impact next year? Yeah, I think he can be a rotation guy. I think he's going to be like a starter that plays 30 minutes. No. But Tyler's 6'8", 6'9", 240 pounds. Like, he can help. He can help.
I think he will give us the things that we were lacking from Tyler Betsy.
He does. My dream non-Yaxel portal edition this year. I have no idea. I mean, I don't know. A lot of it doesn't matter because if you're talking about my dream guys, they're getting $3 million to go somewhere else. So it doesn't really matter. Cincinnati's going to be shopping at they're not going to be at the Kohl's clearance rack. They're going to be at like the Macy's clearance rack. Like, ooh, huh. They probably they put this one over here on accident. I'll take one of these.
So we're Nordstrom rack, right?
Yeah, Nordstrom. It's Nordstrom rack. That's where they can't get the,
we're not at TJ Maxx. We're at Nordstrom rack.
Yeah, you're looking for like a Louis Vuitton on the Nordstrom rack because you can't afford to shop at Louis.
It's 17 seasons old.
Oh boy. Thanks to everybody for tuning in this year. It has been it's been a long journey since September.
If you're looking to sponsor a show though, for next season, any of the shows,
yeah,
feel free to hit us up because we certainly have some openings.
This is kind of opening season, and we'll fill them up over the next couple weeks, and then those will be the people that are locked in for the next full cycle of UC athletics. So if you're interested, DM me, DM Aaron, hit one of us up. We will be glad to talk about rates and all that good stuff and get you set up for being in the Bearcat Journal family. But yeah, that's a wrap. 2024-25 outside of baseball is in the books. We'll see you next time in September. That's the aftermath. Brought to you by Mio's Pizza, live from the Cincy Light Studios right here on BearcatJournal.com. Yes, I think McKinley's back.